All right, the watch list for Tuesday. I mean, it always feels a little irresponsible to not have a whole bunch of stocks on watch, but I can't tell you how many charts I've looked at tonight, and it kind of dawned on me. The problem is the S&P or the SPY. We'll look at the SPY here. Just a few sessions ago, right, was just as ugly as can be. Shorts are getting comfortable, and then just like that, boom! I mean, we were almost back up to the top of the range. I mean, it's up over $10 in a few sessions. So what you have here is I don't want to chase long. We're getting back up near the top of the range. And I don't want to automatically think shorts just because it's bounced a couple days, because this is a big bounce. So shorts are on the ropes, but longs at this point are chasing. So it just leaves me in kind of a lousy position to find some very interesting charts for tomorrow. All right. But having said that, as I said in yesterday's video, hopefully we'll find some gappers in the morning, and we found CTRV this morning, identified it in the pre-market, and then put it on watch. I use 2-minute candles here to show you the call. All right, so at this point it gaps up, pops a little bit, and starts coming down. And I'm always just a spectator in the opening few minutes on these, because you just never know, right? So it's all the way down. It almost went to 390, and it's all the way down to 340. That's a big move and very far from the high of day to get excited about any bounce, because it's going to have to move pretty far just to get red to green back through the open. All right, for practical purposes, I call red to green. I know other people view it a different way. I view it as the daily candle turning green. So if this gets back through the open, which it opened at 368. Of course, it's very interesting over that, because all these sellers that came in, and people love to short these low float junk stocks, right? And I don't even know anything about the stock, but that's how they're mostly perceived, and usually they fill the gap in a few days. So you could argue that the junk name is right, the junk label is right on a lot of these. Anyway, having said that, so what you get is a lot of sellers that make a killing shorting these low float bios. By the way, as a general rule, they make a killing. But what happens here is this thing starts to bounce, all right, and it starts to find its footing. Now, I really think this can squeeze if it gets through the high of the day, but this is such a scenario that it had such nice selling, nice volume, that if this gets back up even near the open, I think it squeezes. So that's what I jumped on the mic and told the room. If this gets over 360, I think we get a push through the high of the day and a squeeze. So 361 basically was my idea. Looking for the 361 area to get us red to green, and then a high of day break, and then, as I always say, anything can happen at that point. Who knows, right? Well, that's what happened. 361, I said I wouldn't give it more than 20 cents. So 361 with a 341 stop, and look at this. It went all the way, over 6. That's just a monster move. So having said that, I always hope to find another nice gapper tomorrow that sets up the way we look for. Right? That was a money maker. You can make a whole week, a whole month's worth of pay if you had the right size and handled it well. I'm going to have it back on watch tomorrow because, it closed, I don't know, maybe in about the middle of its range, but 28 million shares certainly could be interesting tomorrow, especially with the red to green or something like that, okay? ONCE is another one that gapped up, closed at its lows, but, actually 4.8 million shares is a lot for this one. As you can see, it's a relatively new issue. But a lot of times you get the gap up and the red day, and then the next day it finds its footing. So I kind of have this, even though it closed way above where it closed yesterday, I have it on what I call bounce watch, because on an intraday basis, this sold off most of the day. So I'm looking for a bounce tomorrow. I'll only call and take an entry with a proper intraday setup. XOMA over 25 million shares 3 sessions ago. Pretty little pattern here, just consecutive lower highs. But this one could turn up and maybe violently one of these days. So I like the fact that it's coming in, getting back near the moving averages. Again, that's another one that goes on a chart, and we'll see if it sets up. XNPT, this one just kind of an inside day, but closed at its highs after this 12.5 million share day a couple sessions ago. So it's going to look for a possible continuation there. And a really low volume one, RITT, had a spike, I don't know, about a week ago, pulled back, and now it's had a very clear 2-day high at 194. So if we get through 194 tomorrow, it might just push through this recent high of 204. And if you go to the weekly, you can see that this thing was much, much higher. And go back to the daily to give you a better perspective again. So if this gets back up, 194, 195, and then pushes through 2 and then takes out this recent high, it might make another 15, 20, 30, or 40 cent move. You never know. So it's a lower float stock, so I'm going to have it on watch. All right, so I'm not in love with any of these, but again, hopefully we'll find some gappers in the morning, and I also really enjoy playing reversal plays. I didn't find a reversal setup today, so didn't put any money to work, but I got my daily goal early thanks to that CTRV, and only traded a couple other trades in addition to that. So less is more for me at this point. With the market looking like it is, I'm just going to try to catch a gapper tomorrow, maybe one or two reversals. And I just try to keep it that way. I just focus on setups that I know, and if I get them, I take the trades. If I don't, I'll stay in cash all day. I don't care, right? So that's where we are. It's a little bit of a weird market. I would have never expected a bounce like this in the SPY over 2 sessions. But like I said, at that point, it makes it a little bit tough to find charts that stand out. So hopefully on an intraday basis tomorrow, including gappers, we'll find some nice trades. All right, I'll leave it at that, and we'll talk to you guys tomorrow.